Well, new this morning, Youngstown State University is providing an option for exercise during the cold winter months. 27 First News reporter Eric Zarenko is live in Youngstown with details on a new track program. Eric?
Well, Amy, with winter weather on its way, chilly days and cold nights aren't exactly choice times to exercise outside, but luckily there is another option. Located to the east of Stambaugh Stadium and YSU tennis courts, the Watson and Tressel training site opened in 2011, and since then there have been open track programs at certain times throughout the year. Now the most recent one started on October 20th, and since it's only a 2-week period, it will be ending shortly on October 30th. And for more information on the open track program, you can visit the Youngstown State University sports website at ysusports.com. But for now, reporting live at Youngstown State University, Eric Zarenko for WKBN 27 First News. Well, good morning. I'm sure you've all heard by now about the accident that former Ohio Congressman Jim Traficant was involved in Tuesday night. Now I'm standing in front of St. Elizabeth's where he's being held at the moment, and we've been calling all night, but they have yet to release any new information on his condition. Now what we do know is that he was driving a 1943 Ford tractor into a pole building at his daughter's farm when he lost control and struck a large steel blade, which caused the tractor to roll over backwards, pinning him underneath. Now coming up in the next hour, we'll talk to Congressman Tim Ryan, who years ago worked in Traficant's congressional office. But for now, reporting live in Youngstown, Eric Zarenko, WKBN 27 First News. Well, Damon and Amy, that's right. The Ebola outbreak has been on everyone's mind this morning, especially officials in one place where a person now diagnosed with Ebola has just visited. The Summit County Health Department is taking the lead on the Ebola situation and will conduct a follow-up news conference today to discuss any potential developments in the case. This after 29-year-old Amber Vincent visited the Akron area last weekend and then flew back to Dallas from Cleveland before being diagnosed with Ebola. More than a dozen Cleveland area nurses who are on the same flight as Vincent are watching their health as well. That group includes nurses from 2 of the largest hospitals in Cleveland and Altman Hospital in Canton. And Kent State University is taking no chance because 3 of Vincent's family members work at the university, and Vincent had just visited there last weekend. Vincent was visiting her family because she was reportedly making plans for her wedding. Officials don't believe she was at Kent, but the university has asked the 3 family members to stay home for the next few weeks. Kent State officials talked about that during a news conference yesterday, and we talked to students who say they're keeping a close eye on what's going on campus.
I really don't know what to think. I mean, I hope I'm safe. That's all I can say.
But it's kind of scary, and it kind of just makes you wonder if it is airborne because it did get here kind of quick.
Absolutely, especially being a germaphobe. Like, anytime anyone coughs, I'm just like, is it here?
And Kent State officials say the minute they get word of any changes over the Ebola scare that may affect students or staff, they will let everyone know immediately. Amy?
Eric?
Well, good morning. That's right. Well, some people are thinking ahead to Thanksgiving. Hunters are thinking one thing: fall turkey. Starting today, hunters can head out into the woods and get their shot at taking a gobbler of their very own. But turkey isn't the only thing getting into full swing. Antlerless deer muzzleloader season just ended this past weekend, but there are still many opportunities to score a deer before the 2014 season's end. Deer archery season started about 2 weeks ago, but you still have more than 3 months before the season ends on February 1st. So hunters, get ready and take aim because it should be a great year to get a deer. Damon? Chilly days and cold nights aren't usually a choice time for people to exercise outside, but YSU's Watson and Tressel training site gives them another option.
When the weather does start to, get really cold and people can't get outside as much, we do get a couple hundred people in here utilizing the facility.
Located just east of Stambaugh Stadium and YSU tennis courts, the Watson and Tressel training site, or Watt Center, provides the public open track times throughout certain times during the year.
The open track program typically starts in January. It's a 10-week program, runs through the middle of March. It just gives people an opportunity to get out and get some exercise during the winter months.
Its most recent open track program was 2 weeks, starting on October 20th and ending shortly on October 30th.
We open it up just like we did for the winter months with 6 to 8, Monday through Thursday for 2 weeks, just to get people in here and get used to walking inside and exercising.
But don't worry if you miss these first 2 weeks, because there's still time to take advantage of this open track. Starting January 5th, the 10-week program begins and participants will be able to use the track for running, jogging, and hurdling. along with the long jump pit and the high jump mat, but the field inside will only be open at its east end on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The use of the facility will depend on if YSU is opened or closed, so if the university closes due to weather, open track will not be available either. In Youngstown, Eric Zarenko, WKBN 27 First News.
Looks like. Got a preview. Eric, good morning.
Well, good morning, Len. Now, earlier I talked about how some people who live in this section of Boardman are actually unhappy with the roundabout and say that it may be a traffic hazard or unsafe for their children. But joining me live now is Mahoning County Engineer Pat Giannetti. Pat, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Now, Pat, can you tell me a little bit about why this roundabout was built here and how it will benefit the people in Boardman?
Well, the roundabout was built here. Let me back up a minute. It spans two administrations, so this project's very unique, not only because it's the first of its kind in the county, but also like I said, it spans two administrations. The previous administration secured federal funding and hired the consultant that decided that a roundabout was the proper change for this intersection. And my administration administered the construction of the project, saw it through from plan to where we're at today, getting ready to open. And the project will work. It's going to take a little bit of an adjustment period for the people to get used to driving around one of these. They're not new in the state of Ohio, they're just new to this county. So this is the first of possibly a couple in the county, but we'll see how it goes today. And you know, it's going to take probably a month or so for people to adjust and adapt to it and develop the learning curve on how to drive through these.
So I know there's a lot of talk of how some people think the negatives might outweigh the positives. Now, do you think that this roundabout will be a burden to the people who live around this neighborhood?
No, I don't think so. Again, once people adapt to driving the roundabout, there'll be very minimal traffic congestion. It'll keep traffic moving at a constant rate. The traffic's going to actually have to slow down to enter the roundabout, and your driver going to have to be a little bit courteous and aware of what's in front of them, what's coming around the roundabout. And if you have all of that, the roundabout will work properly. There should be no issues with pedestrian traffic either.
All right, and are you expecting to make any more of these roundabouts maybe around the Youngstown area anytime soon?
No, the process takes several years. Obviously, like I said, this project spans multiple administrations, so this project started 3 or 4 years ago, and it takes a while for them to develop and actually come to construction, and obviously it takes a few months to build them as well. So I would like to see one possibly at 5 points, but I'm not sure if that's the proper intersection for one. We have to see if we can get federal funding and see what an engineering study tells us.
All right, well, thank you so much, Pat. Well, there you have it. Remember, the ribbon cutting ceremony is happening at 10 a.m. today, so make sure to drive on through and see if you see a difference in your travel time. For now, reporting live in Boardman, Eric Zarenko, WYTV 33 News Daybreak. Well, Damon and Amy, that's right. 2 men remain in jail this morning after being charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of robbery. Now, I just read through the court affidavit, and it contains a lot of the details. 23-year-old Ryan Bowers and 39-year-old Patrick McCamey, both of Grove City, are behind bars this morning. Bowers told police that he and McCamey went to the victim Michael Anthony John's house early Sunday morning with the intent to rob him, but McCamey denies that claim.
We believe at this point they went with the intentions to rob the victim. During the course of the robbery, they became involved in a scuffle with the victim, some sort of altercation.
But somehow a scuffle happened and Johns managed to stab both attackers before they put him in a chokehold and strangled him. Bowers and McCamey fled the house, leaving a bloody trail behind them. The affidavit states that police received an anonymous tip that McCamey contacted one of his family members admitting he was treated for a stab wound at a Pittsburgh hospital and that he had messed up big time and was going to prison for a long time. The family member also told police that when she picked up McCamey at Allegheny General Hospital, he told her he'd gotten into a fight with a man who accused him of stealing money and marijuana from him. As of now, Bowers and McCamey are being held at the Mercer County Jail and will appear in court on October 8th. Damon? Well, Amy, I just spoke to police and they told me that witnesses at the bar saw 2 men approaching a vehicle parked in the parking lot of Teeny's Tavern, which is on the 3000 block of South Avenue. Now, the two men demanded money from the people inside the vehicle, and when refused, they pulled pistols and fired approximately 6 shots, hitting one 41-year-old male at least 3 times, those areas being twice in the arm and once in the stomach. As of now, the victim is still alive but in critical condition and was taken to St. Elizabeth's, where he underwent surgery last night. And officers are still looking for the 2 suspects who believe they fled into a nearby neighborhood. After reviewing footage taken from the cameras at the bar, both suspects are said to be 20-year-old males. One was wearing white shorts and a maroon hoodie, and the other was wearing black running pants, a black hoodie, and black stocking cap. Now, we'll continue to bring you more updates about the shooting throughout the day, so make sure to stay right here with us. But reporting live in Youngstown, Eric Zarenko, WKBN 27 First News.
You can almost hear slot machines ringing as we're officially 1 week away from the grand opening of Hollywood Gaming at Mahoning Valley Racecourse. And if you can't feel the hype yet, you definitely will soon.
You're watching 33 WYTV News in high definition.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Eric Zarenko. A fire on Northwood Avenue on Youngstown's east side burned more than just a home overnight. The fire started just before 1 this morning. The house was empty, but the weeds around it were so thick and overgrown that they too caught fire. Firefighters managed to contain the fire to the property. Several people are homeless this morning after a fire burned through an apartment building in Sharon last evening. It broke out around 7:30 in this house on South Irving Street. It has 3 separate apartments, but no one was home when the fire began. Sharon firefighters found flames shooting from the home when they arrived, and they say the building was badly damaged. A state fire marshal will be here this morning to look for a cause. And coming up in just a moment, we'll have Jim Lowboy with your weather updates.
Well, Damon, that's right. The residents of Chardon can rest a little bit easier tonight now that TJ Lane is back behind bars. An intensive manhunt overnight in western Ohio ended just hours ago in Lima. Police captured convicted killer TJ Lane, who you can see right here in this mugshot, around 1:30 this morning. Lane is serving 3 life sentences after killing 2 students at Chardon High School in 2012 and wounding 3. Now, Lane and 2 other inmates somehow escaped prison early yesterday evening. One of the inmates was found immediately, and police have just found the 3rd missing inmate, 45-year-old Clifford Operud. Now, Lane could be facing more charges because of his escape attempt, and Chardon schools will most likely remain closed today. To remember the victims of 9/11, many events around our area will be happening over the next several hours. At noon, there will be a short ceremony inside of Cushwa Hall at YSU where several police chiefs and other law enforcement officials will join the guests for the service. Then at 6:30 p.m., a special Final Freedom Walk to remember the victims of 9/11 will happen at the Copeland Oaks Retirement Community in Sebring, and that walk will be followed by a special ceremony. Also, local Pizza Hut restaurants are offering a free lunch buffet at participating restaurants from 11:30 this morning until 1:30 this afternoon. The free lunch is for all emergency responders, including police, fire, and paramedics, to help show them the gratitude that they well deserve. Well, Amy, smiles won't just be bigger today, they'll also be cleaner. Bradish Dental is hosting its 4th annual Dentistry from the Heart event today from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. This event gives the residents of Youngstown and Warren a chance to get dental care free for 1 day and 1 day only. Now, Dr. Rudy Bradish has said it's all about giving back, and so far he estimates his free clinics have given away about $100,000 in dental services to people in the valley.